I wanted to talk to you a little bit today and make a short video on some of the basics of how auto scaling works. So I'm going to first describe our architecture here. So if you go to our features page, you can see this diagram, but basically the way our system works is when traffic comes into our platform, it hits a series of load balancers. Now, any one particular site that's running on our platform is going to run in multiple load balancers, potentially multiple PHP runtimes for WordPress, at least 5 database containers for a Percona database cluster, and then files are replicated across 3 nodes or 3 servers in a cluster. Our typical configuration is we deploy 3 nodes per cluster when we deploy them, and then we can expand the nodes or the virtual machines on that cluster. So any one site in the platform is going to be running in 3 load balancers. It starts with 1 PHP runtime and 5 database containers with the files replicated across 3 nodes in the server. So with that said, I've spun up a new blank site here. And that's why there's no data in here. But as you can see, it does say WordPress containers, and we can see the actual container that's hitting this platform. Now, this site. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the back end of the system, sort of trick it to show it expanding to multiple containers. So I'm scaling this site up manually to an additional container. And if we now go ahead and refresh this page, you'll see it starts to load in the data. I'm just going to do a refresh here. We'll see all the stats start to populate. And so now we can see we've got 2 containers running our site. And at this point, when we hit the site, if we just go ahead and refresh this site, it's going to start bouncing these requests off of multiple containers. And so the load balancer is going to distribute this load across all of these different containers. Now, I'm going to just crank this up to 3. What's interesting about our technology is you pay hourly on the usage of the additional containers beyond your first container. And so what that means is if your site has a surge of traffic because you sent out an email campaign or something went viral, you only pay for the time that you need in this scaled up sort of state. And then as your site traffic starts to subside, your site will start to scale back down. So I'm going to simulate this scaling down again of these containers. And so there you see we just scaled down to 1 or 2, and now we'll scale back to 1. Now, what's cool about this is this scaling technology all happens within seconds. It's actually happening faster in the back end than what is showing here, but within seconds, you can scale up, essentially fleets of containers to handle surge traffic if it's Black Friday or if it's a marketing campaign that's going really well. But the best part about this is you don't have to have any human intervention to do this. So we'll be releasing the final features in our what we call auto scaling, and those features are going to allow the system to detect when there's load occurring on the site and automatically scale it up. Now, one of the things we've been working on is pricing and packaging of that. So if you don't want auto scaling on your site, you have an option to be able to turn it off, but your site might start performing slower than normal if it comes under load. Auto scaling is like the insurance policy to ensure that your site never goes off, and you can set how many containers you want it to scale up to. And so we have all of the underlying infrastructure designed and ready to go. We can actually scale sites up now into a fixed state of containers, but the auto scaling components are going to be released shortly here in January, February, and we're really excited about what that's going to mean for the speed and performance of our customer sites. So thanks for watching.